biorhodospira. It looks like rust in the ground. And it uses sulfate to photosynthesize, and it gives off a lot of nicotine. Some may smell it, some not. It depends on kind of where the wind's blowing and how much you catch. Also, if you get these little bugs that are bothering you, they're trying to bite you. They're little gnats. They're called NoCals. This is the season for them. You don't really see them, but you'll feel them in your scalp sometimes. Just little pinpricks. So there's nothing that can really be done about them. They're all over the Eastern Sierra right now. Other than that, we'll just keep things brief.
You've heard of Salton Sea, haven't you?
Yes, I have heard of the Salton Sea.
Well, is this bigger? Do they have this type of thing in Salton Sea?
They don't have tufa. The Salton Sea is salty, and it's not as salty as Mono Lake, but it's not alkaline. Mono Lake is very alkaline, and it has a pH of almost 10. For those of you who know a little bit of chemistry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get some lake water, because that's one of the ingredients in these tufa towers is Mono Lake water, or a mineral that's in them. Oh, the water is warm today. So you can see it's pretty clear, but there's some detritus in there of all the life that's in the lake, the shrimp and the flies. And also there's algae in Mono Lake. It's still kind of green right now. It's not crystal clear like it will be. So I have Mono Lake water. Does somebody want to help? Be a volunteer? Great. What's your name?
Sophia.
Sophia. Would you do me a favor and hold this? You might get your hands a little wet. Just like this so everyone can see this side of the milk bottle. So Sophia's got Mono Lake water. The other ingredient in tufa is spring water. And I brought some tap water from Lee Vining, the town you drove through. In order to make it true spring water that comes up in this area, I'm going to spike it with some calcium chloride. Because in the spring water here is dissolved a lot of minerals, including calcium chloride, or calcium, most importantly. So Mono Lake spring water has calcium, it has iron, just like a lot of spring water all over the planet. It picks up the minerals from the surrounding ground that it moves through. So in this area, when Mono Lake was higher, the springs came up. Let me dissolve this. Real quick question while I'm dissolving here. Can you swim in Mono Lake? You think? Anybody can.
Float?
Yes, you can swim. Anyone can go swimming in Mono Lake because you don't need to swim. You just float. It's a great experience. Has anyone been in the Dead Sea? Yeah. Did you float? Yes. Yeah. So it's like that here. Maybe not quite as much as the Dead Sea, but pretty close because there's so many dissolved minerals in Mono Lake. You can get back on your back, take a magazine, take your iPad. Although I'd be very cautious about taking the iPad in. If you get any Mono Lake water splashing on it, it will fry the electronics because there's so much salt in Mono Lake.
Fried my watch.
Did fry your watch?
Yeah.
You've been to Mono Lake before?
No, I've been to the Dead Sea and just a little sprinkle on that.
Doesn't take much. There's a lot of cameras and phones that have been lost in Mono Lake over the years. So this is this. I've dissolved the calcium. It's clear. And I'll show you here. Nice clear water. And I'm going to pull up my sleeves so you know there's nothing up my sleeves. This is real, good old-fashioned chemistry and geology coming together. So Mono Lake water has lots of carbonates and bicarbonates dissolved in it, along with salt. The spring water has calcium dissolved in it. Let's see what happens when the two meet inside Mono Lake. Can everyone see this okay? Lift that up maybe nice and high right there. Okay? So I'm going to dribble in some spring water. And you can come closer if you want to look. Right away, we have tufa being made.
That stuff, that white stuff out
Yep,
there?
I'm making a precipitate, a solid from two liquids. So the calcium in the spring water is mixing with the carbonates in Mono Lake, and it's reacting with it and immediately forming a solid called calcium carbonate chemically identical to this tufa you see all around us.
It'll get just as hard as that.
Yes. There you go. Hold that up. It looks like milk gone bad, but it is actually, this is a solid. This is just calcium carbonate spread throughout the solution here. And you can see it beginning little chunky particles. Same stuff. This is exactly how this forms, and you will see a milky scum at certain places along the shoreline. That's tufa. We call it tufa scum. It's just basically calcium carbonate that drifts along the surface. So that's it, folks. This is the famous Mona Lake tufa, why many people come here. And of course the lake dropped, exposing it all. And as the lake goes up, more will be surrounded, but there'll be plenty of tufa meeting the shoreline as the lake comes up.